Captain Taho Kim stood at the large window of Earth's orbital station. The stars looked different from up here. He watched as ships came and went, like busy insects around a hive. His reflection showed a man of 35 years, with short black hair and tired eyes. Today was important. Today would change everything. "Captain Kim, they're ready for you," said a voice behind him. Taho turned to see his science officer, Ji-won Park. She was smart and loyal, with a quick mind that had saved them many times before. "Thank you, Ji-won. Is Dae-sung already there?" he asked. "Yes, sir. The security chief is checking all the plans one last time." Taho nodded and followed Ji-won down the long hallway. Their steps echoed on the metal floor. The meeting room doors slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, 5 people sat around a round table. General Han, the oldest, stood up when Taho entered. "Captain Kim, you know why you're here," said General Han. "The Synax aliens have contacted us. After watching humans for years, they want to talk. And they ask for you." Taho felt the weight of everyone's eyes. "Why me?" he asked. "Your work on the Proxima Centauri mission impressed them. They said you showed." General Han checked his notes. "Unique human adaptability." A woman with a blue uniform pushed a folder across the table. "This is all we know about the Synax. It's not much. They're private people." Taho opened the folder. Inside were pictures of tall, thin beings with skin that seemed to glow and change colors. Their eyes were large, with no pupils. They looked both beautiful and strange. "They live longer than us," said the woman. "Their technology is more advanced, and they have minerals we need for our new drive systems." Dae-sung Choi, the security chief, spoke up. His voice was deep and careful. "We don't know if we can trust them. This could be a trap." General Han shook his head. "That's always possible. But the Synax have never attacked anyone. They stay in their own space. This is the first time they've reached out." "Your mission is simple, Captain," said General Han. "Go to their world. Make friends. Get a trade deal for those minerals. Show them that humans make good allies." Taho looked at the strange beings in the pictures again. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow. Your ship is ready. The Harmony has been prepared with everything you'll need." Later, aboard the Harmony, Taho checked the ship systems with Ji-won and Dae-sung. The small diplomatic vessel was not made for fighting, but it was fast and comfortable. "What do you think of our new friends?" Dae-sung asked, checking the security screens. Taho shrugged. "I don't know what to think yet. They're different, but different isn't bad." Ji-won looked up from her science station. "Their biology is fascinating. Their skin changes color to show emotions, like living mood rings." "Great," Dae-sung said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "So we can't even tell if they're lying." "That's why they asked for Taho," Ji-won said. "He's good at reading people, even strange ones." Taho ignored their talk and stared at the ship's view screen. Tomorrow they would leave for Synax space, a journey of 2 weeks even with their fastest drives. He would be the first human to officially meet the Synax in person. As the Earth grew smaller behind them the next day, Taho felt both excitement and worry. What waited for them at the end of this journey? Would they find friends or enemies? Would he make some terrible mistake that would doom future relations? Only time would tell. But as the stars streaked by outside, Taho Kim prepared himself for whatever might come. The future of Earth might depend on what happened when he finally met the mysterious princess of the Synax. After 2 weeks in space, the Harmony finally reached Synax territory. Taho watched as 3 alien ships approached. They were smooth and curved, like water drops frozen in space. The ships glowed with soft blue light. "They're hailing us," Ji-won said from her station. "Audio only." Taho straightened his uniform. "Put it through." A musical voice filled the bridge. "Captain Taho Kim of Earth, welcome to Nexera Space. We will guide you to our world." Please follow closely." The journey to the planet took another day. When they broke through the clouds, Tai-Ho and his crew gasped. The Senax city below sparkled like jewels under twin suns. Tall towers of crystal and metal reached toward the sky. Gardens floated between buildings. It was beautiful and strange at the same time. "Look at their technology," Jai-1 whispered. "They're at least 100 years ahead of us." Dae-Sung checked his security screens. "Maybe more. Stay alert. Remember why we're here." Their ship landed on a platform near the largest tower. A group of Senax waited for them. In person, the aliens were even more striking than in pictures. They stood taller than humans, with slender bodies and large eyes. Their skin shifted colors slowly, blues, purples, and greens washing across their bodies. Tai-Ho led his small team down the ramp. The air smelled sweet, like flowers and spice. One Senax stepped forward. His skin had more blue than the others. "I am Taylor, Royal Advisor. Welcome to Nexira, home of the Senax people." His voice had the same musical quality they had heard on the radio. Tai-Ho bowed slightly. "Thank you for inviting us. We hope this meeting will start a lasting friendship between our peoples." Taylor's skin flickered with yellow spots. The Senax behind him whispered to each other. "Did I say something wrong?" Tai-Ho asked quietly. Taylor made a sound like bells. "Not at all. We are simply fascinated by your stability. Your skin stays one color. How do you express feelings?" "With words and facial expressions mostly," Jai-1 explained. "Fascinating," said Taylor. "Please, follow me to your rooms. You must rest after your journey." As they walked through the city, Senax stopped to stare at them. Some reached out as if to touch the humans, then pulled back quickly. Inside the tower, their rooms were large and filled with strange furniture. The beds seemed to float above the floor. "The royal family is eager to meet you," Taylor said. "They will decide if humans are worthy of alliance." Dae-Sung frowned. "Worthy? We came here in good faith." Taylor's skin darkened. "Of course, I meant no offense. But understanding each other will take time. Tomorrow, you will meet Princess Lumina, heir to our throne." After Taylor left, Tai-Ho and his team gathered to talk. "They're studying us," Dae-Sung said. "Like we're animals in a zoo." Jai-1 shook her head. "Or like scientists with a new discovery. Did you notice how their skin changed colors when we spoke? I think they communicate more with colors than with words." Tai-Ho looked out the window at the alien city. "We need to learn their ways quickly. The princess meeting tomorrow is important." That night, Tai-Ho studied the little information they had about Senax customs. Their rulebook mentioned something called the Greeting of Colors, but didn't explain what it meant. He would have to figure it out as he went. In the morning, a young Senax with mostly green skin came to their rooms. "Captain Kim, I am Kira, Royal Helper. The princess is ready to meet you now." "Now?" Tai-Ho looked at his teammates. "We thought the meeting was later." Kira's skin flashed pink. "The princess changed the time. She is very curious about humans." "This way, please." Dae-Sung stepped forward. "We should all go." Kira's skin darkened. The princess requested Captain Kim alone first. "It is a great honor." Tai-Ho nodded to his team. "It's fine. I'll report back soon." He followed Kira through twisting hallways, climbing higher in the tower. With each step, Tai-Ho rehearsed his greeting, hoping he wouldn't accidentally offend the alien princess with some unknown mistake. Kira led Tai-Ho up a spiral staircase that seemed to be made of light and glass. At the top, they stopped before large doors carved with strange symbols. "The princess's private rooms," Kira explained. Her skin flashed with pink and purple spots. "She is very excited to meet you." "Should I know anything special about meeting her?" Tai-Ho asked quickly. Kira tilted her head. "Just be honest. The princess values truth above all." Then she touched a panel beside the door. "Princess, the human is here." A soft voice answered from inside. Send him in. Kira nodded to Taiho and left. Taking a deep breath, Taiho pushed open the door and stepped inside. The room was large and round, with windows that showed the city below. Sunlight poured in from all sides. In the center stood a Synax female, taller than the others he had seen. Her back was to him as she looked out a window. Princess Lumina, I am Captain Taiho Kim from Earth. Thank you for. His words stopped suddenly when she turned around. Unlike the other Synax, who wore shimmering wraps that covered most of their bodies, the princess had no coverings at all. Her skin was bare, glowing with soft colors that shifted like oil on water, blues, purples, and greens flowing together. Taiho realized this must be what the Synax looked like without their equivalent of clothing. He quickly looked away and turned to leave. I'm sorry. I've come at a bad time. Stop, the princess said. Her voice was like music. You are not early. I am ready to meet you. Taiho kept his eyes on the floor. But you are not dressed. The princess made a sound like small bells, a laugh, perhaps. Is this uncomfortable for humans? How interesting. For formal meetings, we wear coverings to hide our true colors. But I wanted to meet you honestly, without hiding anything. She moved to a corner and slipped into a shimmering silver wrap. There. Is this better? Taiho looked up again. With the covering on, her skin colors were mostly hidden, though her face still showed flashes of blue and purple. Yes, thank you. I didn't mean to be rude. Humans have different customs. That is why we are meeting. To learn about each other. The princess came closer. She was even taller up close, her large eyes studying him with clear interest. Her skin colors shifted rapidly, blues, golds, and a bright flash of pink. Your reaction was very interesting, she said. Your face turned red. Is that your equivalent of our color changes? Taiho nodded, feeling his face grow warm again. Something like that. Humans show emotion through facial expressions and body language. Show me more, she demanded, moving around him like a scientist studying a new specimen. Your kind fascinates us. You're so unpredictable. Is that good or bad? The princess's skin flashed with gold spots. We don't know yet. That's why you're here. She stopped in front of him. Do you know why we contacted humans, Captain Kim? For trade. We have resources you need. No, she interrupted. We have everything we need. We contacted you because you are different from any species we've met. You adapt. You change. You feel deeply. Taiho's confusion must have shown on his face because the princess laughed again. Most species we know are logical like us, predictable. But humans, Taiho looked into the princess's large eyes. They reminded him of deep space, dark with tiny flecks of light. Yes, he said finally, you can trust me, but trust works both ways. You need to tell me everything. The princess's skin lightened to a soft blue. Come with me. She led him to a wall that suddenly became clear, revealing a hidden room full of maps and strange devices. A three-dimensional model of star systems floated in the center. This is our galaxy, she explained, pointing to a cluster of stars. This is Synax space. Her finger moved to another area. And this is Vortax territory. Vortax? Who are they? Taiho asked. Our enemies. They look somewhat like us, but their minds work differently. They take what they want by force. Her skin darkened. For 100 years, they have slowly expanded their territory. Now they are at our borders. Taiho studied the map. You have a large empire. Surely you can defend yourselves. Princess Lumina's skin flickered with spots of red. The first time he had seen that color on a Synax. We are not fighters, Captain Kim. We are builders, thinkers, creators. Our ships are fast, but have few weapons. The Vortax are warriors. And humans, what are we in your eyes? The princess touched the map again, and Earth appeared, a small blue planet far from both territories. "You are survivors," she said. "Your planet is harsh. You evolved fighting nature and each other. You know war in ways we never have." Taiho frowned. "So you want us to fight your battles? Earth won't agree to that." "No." Lumina's skin pulsed with urgent colors. "We don't want your soldiers. We want your knowledge, your strategies, your unpredictable thinking." A sound from outside interrupted them. Lumina quickly hid the map room behind the wall again. The door opened, and a tall male Synax entered. His skin was mostly dark purple with flashes of green. "Princess, I was not told you were meeting the human already." His voice was cold. "Royal Advisor Nexus," Lumina said, her colors becoming more controlled. "I decided to speak with Captain Kim early." Nexus's eyes moved to Taiho. "The official meeting is scheduled for this afternoon, with all council members present. And we will still have it," Lumina said calmly. "I simply wanted to welcome our guest personally." Nexus stepped closer to Taiho. "Humans are known to be emotional and unpredictable. That makes them dangerous allies, or valuable ones," Lumina countered. "The council will decide." Nexus bowed stiffly to the princess, then left. When the door closed, Lumina's colors shifted to dark blue again. "That is what we face. Half the Royal Council, led by Nexus, believes humans are too dangerous to trust. They want to try negotiating with the Vortex instead. And you disagree. The Vortex don't negotiate. They conquer." She touched a panel on her wrist, and a small screen appeared in the air. It showed images of planets burning, ships firing weapons, and buildings falling. This was the Merle system. They asked for peace. The Vortex gave them this instead. Taiho felt cold. "Why not tell the council everything you've shown me?" "Because there might be Vortex spies among us," she whispered. "They can change their appearance to look like Synax. We've caught 3 in the royal city already." "That's why you met me like this," Taiho realized. Without covers, a Vortex couldn't hide their true skin patterns. The princess nodded. "You understand quickly. That's why I think humans can help us." "What exactly do you need from us?" Taiho asked. "We need to learn how to fight, how to defend ourselves. And," she hesitated, "we need someone who can identify the Vortex among us. Their disguises fool our sensors, but maybe not human eyes." Taiho thought about Earth, so far away. If the Vortex defeat you, would Earth be next? Lumina's skin turned almost black. "Eventually, yes. They take everything they touch." "Then we have no choice," Taiho said. "But first, I need to tell my team everything. They should know what we're really facing." "Be careful who you trust, Captain," Lumina warned, "even among your own kind." Taiho wondered what she meant by that as he headed back to find Jiwon and Dae-sung. The mission had just become much more complicated and dangerous. Taiho found Jiwon and Dae-sung waiting nervously in their quarters. "What happened?" Jiwon asked as soon as he entered. "You were gone for hours." Taiho checked the room carefully, looking for anything that might be listening devices. "We need to talk, but not here. Let's go for a walk." Outside, in a garden with floating plants and small flying creatures, Taiho told them everything the princess had shared. About the Vortex threat, the spies, and the divided council. "So this isn't about trade at all," Dae-sung said, his face serious. "It's about war." Jiwon tapped her datapad. "That explains why some of their questions were so strange. They wanted to know how humans respond to threats, how quickly we make decisions. The princess thinks humans can help because we're unpredictable," Taiho explained. "She wants our knowledge, not our weapons." "Can we trust her?" Dae-sung asked. Taiho thought about Lumina's warning. "Be careful who you trust." "I think so. But she believes there might be Vortex spies everywhere, even among us." Jiwon looked shocked. "I don't know," Taiho admitted, "but we should be careful what we say and do. An hour later, they entered the Great Hall for the official meeting. 12 Synax council members sat around a large table. Princess Lumina was at one end, Royal Advisor Nexus at the other. All wore formal coverings that hid most of their skin colors. "Welcome, Earth delegation," said an older Synax with silver coverings. "I am King Solus, ruler of the Synax Empire." Taiho bowed. "Thank you for inviting us, Your Highness." The formal negotiations began. At first, they talked only about trade, minerals from Synax worlds in exchange for Earth art, music, and cultural artifacts. Nexus spoke up. "Humans value logic less than emotions. This makes them unpredictable trading partners." Taiho noticed how Nexus said unpredictable, like it was a disease. "Humans value both logic and emotion," he countered. "Emotions help us understand each other and build trust." Trust. Nexus's skin showed spots of green through his coverings. "How can we trust beings who change their minds based on feelings?" Jai-1 stepped forward. "With respect, changing one's mind when new information appears is not weakness. It's adaptability." Some council members' skins flashed with light colors. Approval, perhaps. Princess Lumina spoke. "Adaptability is valuable. The universe changes. Those who cannot change with it fall behind." Nexus stood up suddenly. "Like humans fell behind in technology. They are centuries behind us. What could they offer that we need?" The room grew tense. Taiho noticed the king watching him, waiting for his response. Instead of answering angrily, Taiho smiled. "You're right, Advisor Nexus. Humans are behind Synax in many technologies. But sometimes, looking at old problems in new ways leads to solutions no one else has found." He walked to the center of the room. "May I?" he asked, pointing to a bowl of water on the table. The king nodded. Taiho took the bowl and a piece of paper from his pocket. He folded the paper into a small boat and placed it on the water. "Synax ships are beautiful and advanced," he said, "but they all look similar. If an enemy knows what to expect, they can prepare." He pointed to his paper boat. "Sometimes the unexpected works better than the advanced." Several council members leaned forward, their skins showing bright colors of interest. "A demonstration proves nothing," Nexus said dismissively. Taiho nodded. "True, so let me show you something else." He turned to Jai-1, who handed him a small device they had prepared. "This scanner is simple by your standards, but it measures things your sensors might miss. Tiny changes in temperature, small movements, even the way light reflects differently." "What is your point, Captain?" the king asked. "My point is that different doesn't mean less valuable. Humans see the universe differently than Synax. Together, we might see more than either of us could alone." Princess Lumina's skin glowed with bright blue through her coverings. "That is why an alliance would benefit both our peoples." Nexus stood up. "Or destroy us all. This meeting is moving too quickly. I suggest we continue tomorrow, after careful consideration." The king nodded. "Agreed. We will meet again tomorrow." He looked at Taiho with curious eyes. "Your perspective is interesting, Captain Kim." As they left the hall, Taiho felt Nexus watching him closely. The real challenge was just beginning. Somehow, he had to convince the council that humans were worth the risk, before it was too late for both their peoples. That evening, the royal family invited the humans to a dinner. The great dining hall was filled with Synax nobles, all wearing their finest coverings. Foods of strange colors and shapes filled the long tables. Taiho, Jai-1, and Dae-sung sat near Princess Lumina and the king. Royal Advisor Nexus sat across from them, his skin showing dark colors even through his coverings. "Try this," Princess Lumina said, placing a blue fruit on Taiho's plate. "It is a favorite among our people." Taiho smiled and took a bite. The taste was sweet and reminded him of peaches from Earth. "It's wonderful," he said. The dinner continued with polite talk about both worlds. The king seemed especially interested in Earth music. We hear emotions drive your music, he said. How fascinating. Jai-1 nodded. Music helps us express feelings that words cannot. Servers brought more food to the table. One placed a special dish in front of Princess Lumina. The food was purple and steamed slightly. As the princess reached for it, Tai-ho noticed something strange. The steam had a faint yellow color different from the other foods. His military training had included lessons about poisons, and many dangerous chemicals changed color when heated. Without thinking, he reached out and grabbed her wrist. "Don't eat that," he said quietly. The room went silent. Everyone stared at him. Touching royalty was probably against their rules. Princess Lumina's skin flashed with surprise. "Captain Kim." Tai-ho looked at the server who had brought the dish. The Synax was already moving quickly toward the door. "Dae-sung," Tai-ho called. "Stop that server." The security chief reacted instantly, jumping up and running after the fleeing Synax. "What is happening?" the king demanded, his skin turning dark orange. "That food might be poisoned," Tai-ho explained. "The steam has a color I recognize from dangerous substances on Earth." Nexus stood up angrily. "This is outrageous. You accuse our loyal staff off." "Let us check," Princess Lumina interrupted. She called over another server. "Test this food." The server took a small device and waved it over the plate. The device flashed red. "It contains toxins, Your Highness," the server said, backing away from the dish. "Deadly ones." The room erupted in chaos. Royal guards rushed in, surrounding the king and princess. Outside the hall, they heard sounds of fighting. Moments later, Dae-sung returned, dragging the server who had brought the poisoned food. The server's skin was changing in an unnatural way, patches of it turning gray and rough. "Their skin," Jai-1 gasped. "It's different." The fake server fought against Dae-sung's grip, but the human was stronger. Guards took over, holding the struggling figure tightly. "A vortex," Princess Lumina said, her skin pale blue with shock. "In our palace, right next to us." The vortex glared at Tai-ho with hatred. "How did you know?" It hissed in a voice that no longer sounded like a Synax. "I didn't," Tai-ho admitted. "I just noticed the steam was the wrong color." On Earth, many poisons change color when heated. The king turned to royal advisor Nexus. "You assured me our security checks would catch any vortex spies." Nexus's skin showed patches of dark red. "Our systems should have detected any differences, Your Majesty. I don't understand how." "Human eyes see differently than ours," Princess Lumina said. Captain Kim noticed what our technology missed. She looked at Tai-ho with new respect. "You saved my life." The vortex spy laughed suddenly. "It doesn't matter. You're too late. The attack is already planned." "What attack?" the king demanded. But the spy closed its mouth, refusing to say more. Princess Lumina moved closer to Tai-ho. "This proves what I've been saying. We need humans, their different way of seeing things, their instincts. They notice what we miss." Even Nexus seemed shocked by the assassination attempt. His objections to the humans had quieted, at least for now. "What do we do?" the king asked, looking at Tai-ho. Tai-ho looked at the captured spy. "First, we need to find out if there are more vortex among us. And then we need to learn what attack they're planning." Princess Lumina nodded. "And we need to do it quickly." After the assassination attempt, the palace was on high alert. Guards checked everyone moving through the halls. But Synax technology still couldn't reliably detect vortex spies. Princess Lumina called an emergency meeting in a secure room deep in the palace. Only the king, Tai-ho and his team, and a few trusted guards were allowed inside. "Our scanners aren't working," the king said, his skin dark with worry. "We don't know how many vortex might be among us." Tai-ho turned to Jai-1. "Can we create something that would work better?" Jai-1 thought for a moment. "Maybe. The vortex skin texture is different when it changes. Our eyes can see it, but Sinak's eyes might miss subtle details. "We need a way to check everyone in the palace," Princess Lumina said. Jai-1 pulled out her datapad. "Captain, remember the scanner we showed at the meeting? I think I can adjust it to detect the specific way Vortax skin reflects light." "How long will that take?" the king asked. "A few hours, with the right tools," Jai-1 said. The king nodded to a guard. "Get her whatever she needs." While Jai-1 worked on the scanner, Taeho and Dae-sung questioned the captured Vortax spy. The interrogation room was small and plain. "What attack are you planning?" Taeho asked for the third time. The Vortax remained silent, its skin now fully gray and rough. Dae-sung leaned forward. "Traditional methods won't work. Their minds don't process fear like ours or the Synax." Taeho thought for a moment. Then he smiled. "You're right. So let's try something unpredictable." He turned to the spy. "We're not going to hurt you. In fact, we're letting you go." The Vortax looked surprised. Even Dae-sung seemed confused. "Captain," he whispered. "Trust me," Taeho said quietly. Then, louder to the spy, "You'll be released outside the city. You can return to your people." The Vortax's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Why would you do that?" "Because we've already found all your other spies," Taeho lied smoothly. "We know about the attack on the North Gate. We're prepared." The Vortax's face twitched. "You're lying. You couldn't have found." "The three in the kitchen," Taeho interrupted. "The two in the guard unit, or your commander hiding in the communication center." Each guess was just that, a guess. But the Vortax's reaction told him he was partly right. "Impossible," the spy hissed. "Humans couldn't detect." "We see things differently," Taeho said simply. "Now, is there anything you want to tell us before you go? Something that might help you when your leaders realize their plan failed because of you?" The spy sat silently for a long minute. Then, "The attack is not at the North Gate. It's from above. Ships hidden in the upper atmosphere. They're waiting for the signal." Dae-sung tensed. "When?" "Tonight," the spy said. "When the second moon rises." Taeho nodded to the guards. "Take him to a secure cell." "You said I would be released," the Vortax shouted. "I lied," Taeho said. "Unpredictable, remember." Back in the secure room, Jai-1 had finished her scanner. The princess was testing it. "It works," she said, her skin bright with excitement. "We can detect the differences in how light bounces off Vortax skin versus Synax skin." "We need to check everyone," Taeho said. "Especially in the Defense Control Center. The Vortax are planning an attack from above. Tonight." The king immediately ordered palace-wide security checks using Jai-1's scanner. Within an hour, they had found 4 more Vortax spies. One was working in the defense systems room, just as Taeho had guessed. In the palace control center, they gathered to prepare for the attack. Screens showed the sky above the city. So far, nothing unusual appeared. "Your scanner saved us," Princess Lumina said to Jai-1. "And your interrogation technique," she added to Taeho. "How did you know the spy would believe your bluff?" "I didn't," Taeho admitted. "But sometimes you have to take chances." The princess's skin glowed with warm colors. "That's what makes humans special. You try things that seem illogical to us." Suddenly, alarms sounded. A guard pointed to the screens. "Ships, coming down from the upper atmosphere. Exactly where our spy said they would be," Dae-sung noted. The king looked at Taeho. "We've found the spies thanks to you. Now, can you help us fight off their attack?" Taeho looked at the approaching ships on the screen. "We'll need to be creative," he said. "And very, very unpredictable." The control room burst into action as dozens of Vortax ships appeared on the screens. Synax operators moved quickly, but Taeho could see the fear in their changing skin colors. "Our defense systems aren't responding properly," a Synax technician called out. "Something is blocking them." The king turned to Royal Advisor Nexus. "How is this possible?" You assured me our systems were secure. Nexus's skin turned dark gray. I don't understand, Your Majesty. All security protocols were followed. It was an inside job, Dae Sung said, looking closely at a control panel. Someone changed the defense codes from inside this room. All eyes turned to Nexus. The royal advisor backed away. This is absurd. I have served the throne for 50 years. Jai-1 pointed her scanner at him. The device beeped loudly. He's Vortex, she said quietly. Guards surrounded Nexus immediately. As they grabbed him, his skin began to change, the smooth texture becoming rough and gray. His true form was revealed. How long? The king demanded. How long have you been pretending to be my advisor? Long enough, the Vortex said with a cruel smile. Your real advisor died months ago. You never noticed the difference. Princess Lumina's skin paled. That's why you argued so strongly against humans. You feared they might see what we couldn't. Outside, explosions shook the palace as Vortex ships began their attack. The city's shields were down, leaving it defenseless. Take him away, the king ordered, and guards dragged the fake advisor out. What do we do now? Princess Lumina asked, her voice steady despite her frightened colors. Taiho looked at the screens showing the attacking ships. We need to restore your defenses. Ji-1, can you help the technicians reset the system? Jai-1 nodded and rushed to a control panel with several Synax operators. What about the ships already inside our airspace? The king asked. Dae Sung studied the tactical displays. Your ships are faster but have fewer weapons. You need to use that speed. How? A Synax fleet commander asked. Taiho pointed to the displays. Don't fight them head-on. That's what they expect. Instead, use quick attacks from multiple directions. Hit and run. The commander looked uncertain. That's not our usual battle strategy. Exactly, Princess Lumina said. The Vortex know our usual strategies. We need to be unpredictable. The king nodded. Do as they suggest. As Synax ships launched using the new tactics, Taiho spotted another problem. Ground forces, he said, pointing to new alerts. They're landing troops near the palace. Our guards are not prepared for ground combat, the king said grimly. Princess Lumina stood tall. Then I will lead them myself. Not alone, Taiho said. Dae Sung, and I will go with you. Outside, chaos filled the streets as Vortex soldiers pushed toward the palace. Synax guards fought bravely, but were being pushed back. Taiho, Dae Sung, and Princess Lumina arrived with a group of royal guards. Dae Sung quickly reorganized them into smaller, more mobile units. Don't stay in one place, he instructed. Move, shoot, then move again. The Synax guards adapted quickly, learning from the humans. Princess Lumina stayed close to Taiho, her royal covering replaced by light battle armor that still showed her changing skin colors. Behind you, she shouted, pushing Taiho aside, as a Vortex soldier fired at him. Taiho rolled and took down the attacker. Thanks. You learn fast. I have good teachers, she said, her skin flashing with determination. In the sky above, Synax ships darted between the larger Vortex vessels, using their speed to attack from unexpected angles. Explosions lit up the night as several enemy ships began to fall. Back in the control center, Jai-1 finally broke through the sabotage. Got it, she called out. Defensive systems coming back online. The city's shields began to rise, cutting off reinforcements to the Vortex ground forces. With no way to retreat, the remaining attackers fought even more fiercely. In the central plaza, Taiho and Princess Lumina found themselves facing the Vortex ground commander, a massive gray-skinned warrior with weapons on both arms. For a peaceful species, Taiho said to Lumina as they prepared to face the commander, "You fight well." The princess's skin glowed with bright colors of pride and determination. Sometimes peace must be defended with strength. Together, the human and the alien princess stood against the enemy, their unlikely alliance now the last defense for the entire Synax civilization. The Vortex commander towered over Taiho and Princess Lumina, his weapons glowing with deadly energy. "Your world is finished," he growled. "The Vortex Empire will take everything you have." "Not today," Taiho said calmly. Princess Lumina's skin flashed with bright patterns that seemed to confuse the Vortex. While the commander was distracted, Taiho moved quickly to the side and fired his weapon at the alien's leg joint. The Vortex stumbled but stayed standing. Together, Lumina called, and she and Taiho attacked from opposite sides. The Vortex commander was strong but slow. He couldn't track both targets at once. When he turned to attack Taiho, Lumina struck from behind. When he spun to face her, Taiho attacked. This human tactic, so simple yet so effective, finally brought down the Vortex leader. As he fell, the remaining enemy forces began to retreat. In the sky above, the Synax ships had driven back the Vortex fleet. With their ground commander defeated and their advisor spy captured, the invasion collapsed. The few remaining Vortex fled the city, leaving their wounded behind. By morning, the battle was over. The palace and parts of the city were damaged, but the Synax had won. For the first time in their history, they had defeated the Vortex in direct combat. A week later, the king called for a special ceremony in the Great Hall. The human team stood before the throne as honored guests. The hall was filled with Synax citizens, their skins glowing with bright, happy colors. "Today marks a new chapter for our people," King Solus announced, his voice carrying throughout the hall. "For generations, we feared the Vortex. We believed our peaceful ways made us weak. But now we understand that true strength comes from alliance with others who have different gifts." The king turned to Princess Lumina. "My daughter saw this truth first. She recognized that humans, with their unpredictable nature and adaptable minds, would make powerful allies." Princess Lumina stepped forward, wearing royal coverings that still showed flashes of her skin colors. "When Captain Kim first arrived in my chambers, I stood before him without coverings, not by accident, but as a test. I wanted to see his true reaction, to know if humans could be trusted." She looked at Taiho with warm colors showing on her face. "His reaction told me everything I needed to know. Humans are different from us, yes, but they are honorable, adaptable, and kind." The king stood and approached Taiho. "Captain Kim, you and your team have saved our world. Earth and Nexura are now bound together as allies." He presented Taiho with a crystal that glowed with shifting colors. "This is the royal star of Nexura, our highest honor. No outsider has ever received it before." Taiho accepted the gift with a bow. "Thank you, Your Majesty. Earth will stand with the Synax people as friends and partners." Princess Lumina approached with something in her hands, a shimmering royal covering like the ones worn by the royal family. "And this is a personal gift," she said softly. "A royal covering that marks you as an honorary member of our house. When you wear it, all Synax will know you as family." As Taiho accepted the covering, the princess's skin glowed with colors he now recognized as friendship, respect, and perhaps something more. "Your people have taught us that differences can be strengths," she said. "That being unpredictable is not a weakness but a gift." That evening, as Earth's diplomatic ship prepared for the journey home, Taiho stood at the viewport looking down at Nexura. The Synax had given them everything they had asked for: trade agreements, mineral rights, and a powerful alliance. But they had gained something more valuable: a new understanding of themselves. Humans were young compared to the Synax, less advanced in many ways, but their very unpredictability, the chaos that other species feared, was actually their greatest strength. Princess Lumina joined him at the viewport, her skin showing gentle colors of farewell. "Will you return someday?" she asked. Taiho smiled. "I promise. This is just the beginning." As the ship lifted off, Taiho thought about that first awkward meeting, how a cultural misunderstanding had led to the saving of two civilizations. Sometimes, he reflected, The most important connections begin in the most unexpected ways.